Welcome, tourist! Hello, I am Jose Ayuste, and with help of my classmates Laura Zurita, Sandra Linares, Jordi Marin, and Carolina Closas, we will explain our project of task cycle. This project are destined to students of primary school. Now, to continue, you can see this table for more information. Hello again! Have you got to log well at the table? Yes? Alright. Now, we will comment on the table by introducing you and, and justifying the because of this task cycle. This task cycle is made for the cycle middle, also the cycle middle cycle, especially for fourth of primary, and consists in be able to say the different places that can be found in a city, the different traits that are to work, okay? And with the activities we propose, we want the students to learn the four skills: learning, writing, reading, and speaking. Also, we will consider that the work of groups, will motivate the students and will favor the participation of all the children in the activities. On the one hand, dimensions and competences to be thought and assessed in this task cycle, I need reading because it's very difficult to memorize a lot of competences. Okay, but I see four competences. Okay, one is dimension oral communication. Competence 3: use oral interaction strategies in accordance with the communicative situation to initiate, maintain, and finish the discourse. Competence 4: apply strategies to obtain basic information and understand simple or adapted writing text of everyday life, the medium, the school environment. Dimension writing expressions competency 8: produce simple text in accordance with the communicative situation and with the support of supers. Multilingual and intercultural dimension, the last one, competences, that's the 12 competence, use multilingual strategies for communication. Okay, and let's go continue. Okay, on the other hand, the contents which are be thought and assessed in this task cycle is the participation in oral interactions, comprehension, correct application of grammatical aspects, learning basic forms of social relationships in foreign language, learning how to interact in a foreign language and how to participate in classroom activities. Okay? Yes, and for finally, also it's very important tell the objectives. The objectives, the work to be assessed in this task cycle are, and this is recognized and be able to use the language related to the topic, okay, related to the traits and onto the traits and to the places, and remember the vocabulary used in previously is another objectives, and make sentences using the vocabulary of the topic and the grammatical structures. Okay, understand. Another objectives are understand and correctly apply grammatical aspects and learn basic form of social relationships in a foreign language, participating in the different classrooms activities. Okay, let's continue this explication of task cycle. Jordi Marin.
Alright, now I'll go with my part of the session and start with the main language. the vocabulary and structures to read out and assist in the task cycle. And first of all, we will use the vocabulary about the places. For example, park, uh, supermarket, shop, restaurant, swimming pool, library, hospital, zoo, theater, cinema, opera museum, shopping center, a sports center, health center, and police station. As far as the learning and implementation of grammatical structures and programming linguistic content of language. And we will use sentences, for example, where were you on Monday, or where does the baker work, for example. Um, the nouns of product and presentation we will use in this task cycle is first the pre-task, on we review the vocabulary about places and jobs, and the task will we draw the establishments of your city on a cardboard and be able to tell the profession and where it is located. And finally, in the post task, we write and make a radio announcement to encourage people to visit the city. Well, now I will explain the children's knowledge and experience in relation to language and content objectives in this task cycle. Mm, First of all, um, in a class, there are always some students who will know more and students who will know less. But as teachers, we'll have to know um, and listen to those, and we'll have more knowledge, these who have less, to be able to make an average content to be a good teacher. With this average, we think that the students can progress in this learning and with the activity. Despite this, we expect a minimum vocabulary identification of the places and use there is and there are to describe. Okay, the assessment instruments that we use are firstly the assessment of the various activities provided based on the didactic objectives and the contents. Secondly, the exploration of previous knowledge. And thirdly, the active participation in a class. In my personal opinion, it is the most important thing because the participation in the class, as I have said before, um, we have students that have more level and students who have less, but we will evaluate mainly the development of these students in a class. The participation and the implication is, is that we will evaluate um, these items above their level of English. And finally, the last assessment is the resolution of issues arising in the various activities, either orally and writing. So, and finally, the resources and material needed is a video of an educational song on the places and the jobs, the ICT tools, the rubric to assist the linguistic contents, and finally the cardboard.
Hello. Um, As my co-worker Jose said before, in this cycle task, uh, we will help the teacher to notice the level of each children in the four languages skill to adapt the following task to knowledge level. So I'm going to talk about the pre-task, which is the first part of the cycle task. This pre-task lasts 50 minutes and we will do it on the first session. Our objectives in this pre-task are refresh the vocabulary about the places, identify the name of the city places, and practice a new vocabulary about the topic. First of all, we want to know which the previous knowledge of the students about the vocabulary will be work on that consists in on places. The teacher will ask and the students to raise hand. We will propose the students say some places and the teacher writes them on the blackboard. Next, the teacher will play the video about places but without voice. And after that, the students watching the video will have to say the name of places that they will see, and the teacher uses the same method that before for asking the students answer and write them on the blackboard too. Then the students will watch the video again, this time with sound. Once the video is finished, the students check their answer. After checking, the students copy the list of the name of places in a piece of paper. This way they work writing skill. So the material used in this pre-task is a video, and we believe that the best interaction to use in this session is that the teacher will ask all the students to participate. Thanks for all.
So now I will explain you the task. The main objective of this are three. First of all, promote the teamwork, because we think that working cooperatively is very important to develop this skill. Secondly, we want them to improve the vocabulary of jobs and places, and linking with that, we want to improve the communicative competence because we want to learn this vocabulary, but also that they have to be able to use it in their daily life. For that, we have planned an activity that consists in groups of 4 or 5, it depends on the number of the class. They will have a cardboard that we can imagine that is this whiteboard, where they have to design their own city or town. For that, we will give to them the cardboard and also some pictures of some places that can be in a city. For example, this hospital or this fire station. So, we will ask them to stick it in their cardboard whatever they want. For example, we will put this restaurant here. Also, we will put this fire station here. The hospital, for example, here. The school here. The police station here. We will put it here better. And the beauty salon, for example, here. So once they have stick it in the cardboard, they have to draw the different streets. For example, I think that this is very easy. We will put here a street. This will be a corner. Also for this. And going over here. I think this is a very simple city and easy to write and to go there. For that, we will give to them in between 5 and 10 minutes. Once they have planned and designed their city, they have to think how they could guide someone to go to one point or one place to another one, because later they have to guide someone of their classmates. But we can go back, and for this that they have to plan how to say, for example, if you are in the fire station, go straight on, then turn right, then turn left, and you will arrive at the hospital, for example. For that, we will give to them more or less 10 minutes. Then 10-15 minutes. Previously, some students or I will provide this example or one similar to them because they know how to do. And later, we can do it in front of the class, but I think it's not so useful. So, I propose that they can do it in groups, and one of each member of the group can go around and check and ask to their mates to go to one place to another one. The teacher will be walking around the class and making sure that everyone is speaking correctly using the full sentence, and they are doing right the directions. We think that this activity is very useful because they can use what they have learned in this activity in their daily life. Imagine a situation. They are walking with their family, it's Sunday, in Las Ramblas, for example, when they saw someone lost. But they are not Spanish, and they don't know some Spanish, so what can they do? But if they know how to guide someone, this is not a problem. So they can guide the foreign person to the place they want, and this is not more a problem. But not only for helping people. Probably in their summer holidays they are traveling, la la la, and they are, for example, in London. And what happens if they come lost? So now they are able to ask someone, but not only ask and only say. Now, if they are lost, they will be able also to comprehend instructions, because it's not the same saying than listening and comprehend. And we think that with this activity they can learn how to comprehend indications that can be helpful in the future if they are traveling in a foreign country.
I'm Sandra, and in this last part of the video, since Laura has just explained the task, I'm going to explain the post-task. That is the last part of the task cycle. First of all, I'm going to tell you the objectives of the post-task. These are to make use of the vocabulary of the topic, practice the communicative competence and the speaking in English language, practice the writing skills, and to promote teamwork. The post-task will be taking place in the second session and it will last about an hour. The post-task consists in inventing and recording a radio advertisement to promote their city, to invite the radio listeners to come to visit their city, and to increase tourism. This task will be done in the same groups that they did the task. First, they will think of the different facilities and the different places that their city has in order to remember it, and then they will make their draft of the radio advertisement. In this draft, they will write all the ideas that they have, whatever they come to their minds that they can use in the advertisement, and different ideas for a possible slogan. After doing it, they will read all of them and they will decide which ones are the best and which ones they want to include. And then they will write their final version of the radio advertisement, and then after that they will decide which sentences which will read each member of each group. Afterwards they will practice it and they will finally record it. As I have just said, they will have about an hour to do this, and they will have an iPad to record the radio advertisement, and they will have a paper to make their drafts, and they will have a cardboard to write the final version of the radio advertisement. The teacher here will be like a monitor, because she will watch how they are working in different groups, what are they doing, the ideas that the different groups are having, and if the students have doubts, she won't tell them what they need to do, but instead she will tell them a piece of advice. So by doing this activity, the teacher will be able to assess the communicative competence of each of the children, the writing competence, other aspects like the originality and the creativity of the radio advertisement. And she will assess both the process and the result. And she will be using a rubric that has different criteria, Now I'm going to show you the rubric. As you have just seen, in this rubric there are 4 different assessment criteria. These are speaking, use of appropriate vocabulary, and intonation, that we think that it's really important in an advertisement. Finally, the originality and the creativity, that is also important in all of this process. And in this rubric there will be 3 different levels. Level 1, that is the lowest, level 2, and level 3 that is the highest. And well, by doing this assessment, the teacher will be aware of the different levels of the children in each of the competencies. And this is all for the post-task.
We have designed this task base with the main objective to promote the learning of pupils and also improve their communication competence using interaction to make more significant learning.
We think that our task-based language are appropriate to improve the pupils' communicative competence while they practice the jobs and places topic.